Are we up? Let's go. You know what we're doing today, same as we were doing yesterday, same as we'll be doing tomorrow probably. It's a bit warmer than it was yesterday. Yesterday was a really, really, really chilly day here in the Sucks. Today's a bit warmer. Spring is on the way, but it's going to be a while before it gets here clearly. We have questions already. What's going on? Very rough work here. Of course, we're not cutting the lines, we're just hacking out wood to get it out of the way for the real carving. That's the next step. So we're just doing some advanced clearing here to get close to the lines. We chatted about this a bit yesterday. This is kind of apprentice's work before the big gun guy steps in to do the final carving of the lettering. Paper's out, thank you for reminding me. I know there's two printers here today. It's Suga-san. She's working on the next one in our Beauties of the Japanese Print series. It's a reprint of a subscription series I did myself years ago. We're reissuing it under our own name. And she's been chewing through month by month, making them. And she's, this month, we talked about it a few days ago, she's at the most difficult print in the whole set now, number 15. And she's been sweating blood about this one. She's really not so confident about it. So. Also, there might be news later on today or tomorrow. I don't know, small news, little detailed news. The last David's Choice video was about those small match label prints. And in that video, I showed some blocks that have come down to us. The blocks for a pair of tiny prints. And after I finished that video, I passed the blocks over to Dei-chan and asked her, when you get some spare time one day, please run up a batch of these. And she had done so. They're in the drying boards. I saw them last night. They're dry last night. And she's done a really nice job. In fact, I should have used her to help me make the video because she's done a much better job than I did when I made the video. I just quickly sat down with whatever pigment was on the desk at hand there and ran up 1 or 2 sample prints of that thing. And she has been much more careful about it and gone and worked out a nice color scheme. And the prints are really quite nice, much more attractive than when I made them in the video. So they'll probably be going into our catalog, on the online catalog sometime, maybe later today or tomorrow. This is not boxwood, this is cherry. Cherry. Way too big for boxwood. There's no boxwood around this big. And we can't laminate it. You talk about the hardness of the wood. I chose a particularly hard piece for the lettering. This is a leftover piece of cherry that I had from some years ago. It was saved for this job a long time ago. But there's no boxwood this big. I'm quiet. Get some work done. What's happening over here? Family time. It was just nothing. We did absolutely nothing. Just hanging out. You'd have been surprised if you could have eavesdropped. I'm sitting there in my mother's apartment. You know, we're sitting there, and we don't really have much to talk about. Whatever. So she's got a crossword puzzle she's doing or something. I was maybe looking at my machine, catching up on mail or something. Whatever. I was gonna sit there, and nothing goes on. You know, special time with my mother, but whatever. We just hung out. You know. And I mentioned she does those crossword puzzles, difficult ones that I can't really do, but she asked me for advice on one or two of the questions. I can maybe point out something she overlooked, whatever. It was really low-key, just relaxing together. And the interesting part was trying to coordinate meals and stuff. My two daughters over there, they're working like crazy. Their schedule is just running all day. And their workplace is not too far from where my mother lives. So lots of times we got together. I would drop down to their wedding studio, whatever, for lunch. And we'd come back for tea with my mother and stuff. So it was just really family hangout time. Just sitting there watching the new little granddaughter try to learn how to stand up and stuff like that. You know, I did really absolutely nothing for what. And the weather, of course, it was super snowy, and my mother, at her age, shouldn't be going outside. So we were under house arrest for the first part of the visit there. She was under house arrest, and I went out and got the shopping and things like that. It was good timing, actually. Just when I showed up, it was a time when she couldn't go out. You know. My sister lives nearby to help her in those cases, but it was my turn for a week there. So. My mother here? Yeah, here she is. She's here. How's your sniffle thing? She had some kind of sinus thing. Just as I was leaving. Mom had some kind of sinus, I don't know, infection, I can't say that, but sniffling and stuff in her throat. Is it all cleared up now, Mom, or what? So what's still hanging down, or? Backwards grain here. Be careful. Okay, I think we're roughly cleared out around that calligraphy. Let's have a look. Crossword puzzle Twitch stream. Interesting, eh? A crossword puzzle Twitch stream. What would you do? You put the puzzle down on the page, on the paper, on the desk, put the camera on it. What about the clues? I don't know. Bet Bull's daily crossword puzzle Twitch stream. Well, the crossword puzzle she does is an open online puzzle. She does the one from it's the Canadian newspaper called the Globe and Mail. Although I think their puzzle isn't perhaps original. I think it's licensed from Britain, from The Guardian or The Observer or one of those newspapers over there, I don't. So she could put the link here. Everybody, there's the link. Go and get the puzzle before the stream starts. And then try and figure out the clues. Because those cryptic crosswords are really, they're cryptic. They're puzzles. It's not just the Western kind of puzzle where you ask for the first name of somebody or whatever like that. The Western puzzles are mostly just like trivia questions or general knowledge questions, remembering the actor who won the Oscar in 1939 or something like that. But the British cryptics are different. They are actual, each one is a puzzle in itself. How did they figure out what that word is? And if you've never done them, they're insanely difficult if you've never done them, because unless you know how to read the clues, you're lost, absolutely lost. And it's exactly the kind of puzzle that you can do with discussion. Sit and chat with people, and how do they figure this out, what's going on, and toss some ideas around, and eventually the clue pops up, and away you go. So those cryptic crossword puzzles would lend themselves to a discussion type format. Is this print going to be done like the Great Wave with rest periods? You mean when it comes time to do the printing, you mean, or in the carving? In the carving, I'm going to be doing this bit by bit with other work interrupting it. So yes, this carving will not be done soon for this whole block, because I'll have lots of other work to interrupt it, especially when we get to springtime in the shop a month from now. Or if you mean when we're printing it, we'll print them in small batches, yes, because we don't want to hugely wear out the block. This one's going to be simpler to print than the Great Wave. I think. Most of it is pretty straight ahead. The real difficult part for this is going to come with her head and face, trying to get the balance between the hair and the under hair and the fine lines on her face, trying to get that worked out. That's going to be the key point for this print. And the rest of it's pretty straightforward. The sky, the seaweed, the blue, the octopus colors, they're all just slap them down. They're okay, not difficult at all. The calligraphy will be easy to print once it's carved. It's her face that's going to be the key. It's taken so long. It's just so many jobs. Even like right now, I'm not really supposed to be working on this right now. We've got some other jobs that are really high priority. We're extremely in trouble right now with staff for the print parties for the spring. So I really shouldn't be doing anything else right now except whatever it takes to get some more people into this shop. I did a rough layout yesterday of a chirashi, a flyer, which we're going to put in mailboxes in the neighborhood, looking for people who can work part-time. And I should be doing that just right now. I shouldn't be doing this carving work. I gave Cameron a test of it yesterday, asked him for comments and stuff, so he's going to be busy today. It's on the first of the month, it's billing for subscriptions and stuff. So he's out of it today. He can't help me with anything else. As soon as this stream's over, that's it. I am on to Creative Suite and get that thing done. Then fired off to the printing company. And then we're going to walk. We're going to take the staff. We're just going to start walking around the neighborhood in concentric circles, getting farther and farther from the shop. And we're going to drop this flyer in mailboxes. And we're looking for people like a housewife who's got kids in school, stuff like that. We can't afford full-time employees, so we're trying to widen our database, our pool of people who are trained here to do the print parties, so they can work 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days a week, stuff like that. So it's perfect. A young housewife who speaks some English. She did English in college or something, and she just wants to work a couple of days a week with flexible time. So we're just going to get this flyer and throw it in mailboxes, a couple of thousand of them. Anybody who lives within 1 kilometer of us here. So, yeah. That should be a stream next week. David walking mailbox to mailbox. Follow David around the Saxa. Okay, I think we are ready. It's all cleared. I think all the major waste is out and gone. It's time to sharpen up and have a go at the real carving here. Let me get this out of the way. Zoom out a bit. Yeah, the calligraphy, I just started with one corner. And here, let me see. This is the block. This is one corner. The calligraphy will move over here. It'll be all around the side here. I haven't finished the whole tracing of it yet, but I just want to get going, get started, so we can see some carving work. We just need to touch it up. We don't need to rebuild the edge of the tool here. So we're not starting with the hardest sharpening stone. This is the medium stone, about 1,000. Well, not about 1,000, it says 1,000. someone's asking, well, is this print original? It's a reproduction. No, it's a print that was made in the 1830s? No, 1810s, 1814? I forget, I'm sorry. This is, the print is a reproduction, an adaptation too, because we're changing quite a lot of the original. It was 2 book pages, I'm turning it into a single item. So it's really an adaptation of an old design. What I forgot to do is prepare a large master copy of this calligraphy for reference when I do this. I don't think I have anything here. Here's the original, a copy of the original, but I really need this blown up really, really large. As I'm carving, we chatted about this a bit yesterday, just the way that the way that you go round every stroke, how rounded this is or how pointed this is. There's a point on the edge of this. These don't show here because it's so small. But it makes a huge difference in the character. I don't know if I can try and explain by drawing this, I don't know. I don't know if I can explain. Whatever, the edge of this character here, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, this one here, just this. Let me try and draw what I mean. I'll need something sharper than that today. Okay, we've got a stroke that comes in and then up and around. So the brush tip originally it hit, and there was a stroke that came down. And the brush may have started as a really fine, delicate tip, or the brush may have started a bit rounded. We really can't see that here. Then when it gets to this corner that goes around, there's sort of 2 ways it can be done. The brush can go down and up like that, like a V, or the brush can go round in a bit more of a circular motion. So you get a thing at the bottom that's like this. It's down and then up. Like that, chup, chup, or it can be down and around and up like that. You get what I'm getting at here. And I can't even see this here because this is a fuzzy, vague dot, dot, dot photocopy. And I can't see this, but if you don't pay attention to these things, then by the time you're finished a batch of calligraphy, you've ended up maybe rounding them all, and the thing has lost a lot of character. Where all these little sharp things that show you how he moved his brush are all gone. Now, absolutely, as I'm working through this, what I've got to do is get the original book back from Way to Sun and scan it at a hugely high resolution, like 2400 dpi or something, which will give me all these corners all the way through. This morning I don't have that, so we're just going to fake it. I'm just going to do what I think looks right. It's this too. See where it goes thin and where it goes thick again. How can I draw this? I don't know. This bottom line here becomes the top line here, the way the brush hairs move together. When the brush comes down, it comes up, but it goes around. And this is the outside of the line here. But as the brush moves up, this becomes the outside of the line. So it's sort of something happens like this. This line becomes that line when you're doing it. And you can see it here, right? It's fatter, it gets thinner and thinner, and then fattens out again, and then fattens and becomes thinner. And you've got this crisscross as the brush becomes outside and outside, inside and inside. It's hugely interesting. It's really difficult for me to explain in words, I'm sorry. And I'm at a real handicap, or I was at a real handicap on this, because I had never used a calligraphy brush. I'd always used, pen and pencil. But someone, a Japanese carver, he's been working with a brush since he was like 3 years old. And they've got a feeling for how this works. Lucky for me, the first project I lucked into was making those 100 Poets series. And there was calligraphy on each one. And it was quite large calligraphy. So it allowed me to see these things in a way that I can't see on this little image we're doing right here, right now, because it's just too small. So I cut my teeth on a project that allowed me to learn this because I could see it on each one. Whatever, I'm the least competent person to try and explain these things because I can't show you with a brush, but just chatting, it's okay. There's another one here. I know I shouldn't maybe talk too much about these. I don't know. This kind of stuff. Here, there's a curve coming around here, and there's a curve going away here. Now this part of it, at some point, this curve comes down here, but now somewhere from around here, this part of it is this curve. So you can't just carve a curve here in one piece with your knife, because it's wrong. This part is not curved like this. This part is curved and arched to be part of that stroke. Because maybe the brush came around first this way, stopped here, and then arched back to go around that way. So this is a curve, it's concave from where I stand using my pen here. And this part is convex. So you can't just run your knife, zoom right off the whole thing. At every moment, you've got to try to be aware of where the knife is going next. This part, it's right here. This is concave, concave, concave. This part is convex because it goes out here. It doesn't go up here. And at this scale, when somebody looks at this print, they are never going to see these things. But you've got to do it the right way. You can't just think, oh, this one's too small to see. It's okay, I can get away with it. If that's the way you go, just your calligraphy will look awful clumsy. This is long before I was here. This is going back over 100 years ago, back to the time when there were still such things as Sudimono prints. I hear that there were such things as specialist carvers who just carved calligraphy for Sudimono because they knew how to do this in a real specialist's way. And there were definitely carvers who specialized in carving calligraphy for such things as books, those little books we talked about in the recent David's Choice video. There were people who specialized in that work, just sitting there all day doing what I'm doing right now. Except they would have done it. Man, were they fast. Man, were they fast. If they could watch me doing this now, they would just laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. Take me weeks to do this job that they would do in a couple of days or a day or that's one of the real differences between Japanese shokunin and the Western craftsman. There's a real built-in, hugely inherent difference. We have this image in the West of craftsmen that to take a long time to do a job is an honorable thing. My God, it took him a month to do that. Fabulous. It must be done really carefully. For Japanese craftsmen, that's an insult. It's nothing short of an insult. Cameron's is it raining again?
A little bit, on and off.
Really? I thought it was going to be a clear day, so it's basically just like yesterday.
Yeah, still wet.
Soka. I thought it was all right. Was that the garbage just coming?
Yep.
Wow, they're late. I forgot to put it out last night. Luckily, I remembered this morning. When I got up and I saw the rest out there. I took the thing away. I just put it out. Yeah.
Great.
So I opened it up here.
Is this the new one or the one from upstairs?
It's the one from upstairs. I forgot. Where are we here? Just a sec. Middle too, right? Bingo. What do you think? Can we get away with it? It's going to go down, people. We're going to try and turn the laptop here. Actually, they can now see what's happening. This is the plug. That's the power. This is the Ethernet, which is in a lightning connector, right?
Yeah.
And the lightning connector is so shallow. It's so shallow that no matter how we move this, carefully remove this, it just interrupts the signal. And a split-second interruption, Twitch goes down, and that's it. Bad design. Yeah. Let's try it, Cameron. I'll try and hold it in with my hand. Okay, yeah, you do the moving, I'll just do the holding. Let's try it. Squeeze it in there, Dave. Squeeze it in. Are we ready? Let go. Did we make it?
I think we did. Still green light.
Wow!
All right.
Over to you, sir.
Sounds good. They've saying, oh, the camera's straight now, too. Yeah.
We get there. It takes us a while, but we get there. So. I think that just as you came in, we were talking about the craftsman's idea that the old guys could do this thing so quickly, of course. I'm sitting here delicately thinking and considering every line. And and the philosophical difference between a Western craftsman and a Japanese shokunin. The Western craftsman, when we hear a story, oh my God, it took Dave a week to do that calligraphy. And it's all, wow, it must be done so well, it's so cool.
Yeah.
To a Japanese shokunin, it's an insult. It works.
What took so long?
What took so long? Exactly. So, and this is not just woodblock making, anything. So, first of the month, are you ready, Terry? You got most of your work done yesterday. Did you preparation stuff, did you?
Yep.
Did you do the building last night, actually?
Yeah.
So, okay. So today's not so bad, I'm just doing the mail outs.
Mailing. What is that word? Japanese what? Shokunin is often translated as craftsman, but yeah.
Well, literal meaning from the kanji is workman. Yeah. The literal meaning is workman. So, guy who does the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Working man. Before I forget one thing, you're picking up a bit of the waiting list for the Japan Journey series.
Yes.
There's people who didn't take their opportunity to subscribe to it, so you're into the mailing list. I've already noticed a couple of them saying, it's nice, but I would have really liked to have got the first one or two.
Oh, they didn't.
They don't get it. So when you're sending those letters saying, hey,
so we start at the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make it clear that you're ready to start. You're ready to pick up with the first print. Because that they don't get.
Yeah. Outside, peeking in.
Waiting for us to open?
No, I think he was just walking by and looking under the shutter and then walked past again.
Today, if you see me, once the stream's finished and we start the regular work, if you see me fooling around with anything else except that staff bow shoe, give me a kick in the ass or something. Right?
Okay.
There's so many other projects that are crazy here, but I have got to get going on that.
Yeah, we need more stuff.
It's so easy to get sidetracked. I can't say sidetracked because they're jobs.
They're all
work, you know.
They're all projects that need to be done.
There's
but-
flea market stuff. So many prints waiting for labels now. Hundreds and hundreds of prints waiting for labels.
How many blocks and how many impressions for this print?
It's 8 and 8. Well, 4 pieces of wood, 2 sides, and it'll be straight, one each. This is not going to be a complicated print to print.
Right.
So it'll be a straightforward one. The printers are going to be happy with this. We have a slight problem in the tone of the hair, how deep to print the hair and stuff like that. And the hair might need a double impression. I'm not sure. I don't know. But no, this is much more straightforward than the Great Wave. Remember the design at the beginning, it was one page from a book, which had to be published cheaply and quickly, and it was all about the money.
Yeah.
So this is not a complex thing.
I wonder why this one page of this one book became so popular.
Well, it's the imagery, and there's just something about that thing, you know. It's whatever. What can I say? The other ones are just routine porn, you know.
Got it.
This is not routine. Why did the Great Wave become so iconic? The guy just had something about catching a. We just come back to that word, iconic. There's something iconic about the image. That, I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know. All I know is about the wood and the carving. You know. The lady that was here from the British Museum the other day, you know, conversation went a bit into this territory. You know, she's a researcher. Her specific interest is in the pigments and the molecular content of what was there, whether Prussian blue or whether this or whether that. You know. But she works in an environment in the British Museum where their interest in the prints is more wide. You know, who was Hokusai? Why did he do this? What does this wave mean? And all that kind of stuff. And I don't have the slightest interest in that sort of thing. It's nothing we can even think about or understand or have anything to do with. My interest is technical. How was this made? How was that thing cut? How was this carved? So it's cool. So we have overlapping and yet different approaches to this. You know, what we are looking for in these things. You know. It was a real fun conversation with her the other day.
I haven't heard anything else about her visit. So,
She's
what
here
did
on.
you think of? Wait, I remember you were talking about different block sets and stuff. How did that conversation go?
Well, I still maintain that my viewpoint is correct, and she still maintains that her viewpoint is. You know, she feels or she wants to feel that there are not too many block sets out there, and I feel that there were many, many, many block sets out there, and still are. You know, I think at one point I said something like, "Look, right now as we stand here in Tokyo, right here in 2019, how many block sets for the Great Wave do you think are in existence here in Tokyo?" I think she said, "Well, 3 or 4." I said, "There's at least 100 within like 10 kilometers of where we're standing. You know, because over the years it's been published and republished and republished so many times." Adachi themselves, they covered it again every 2 years. They covered it renew because they're printing so many copies of it. You know.
Yeah.
So she thinks of it as something very special in world art.
Rare.
And its existence is a rare thing in world art, but the manufacture of it is nothing rare at all. You know. What did I say? We talked about lots of stuff. There's no hostility or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just very, very interesting to talk about these things. Yeah.
Cool.
And I was able to show her some stuff that she had sort of never seen before in the sense of these 20th century reproductions. Some beautifully made woodblock prints that have never been on her radar and would never be on the radar of people in a museum environment like she is, you know. They're like, what? Reproductions? I mean, like, who cares about that stuff? We put them on, some of them on a shelf here, and she's like, wow, it's just so beautiful, you know. So. I am so slow with this, you know. All I can do is just admit it and just move on. But it's going to look nice when it's done. You know?
Frozen Runner asks, so what did she think of those 5 images you showed on the stream?
This was
and the
very, very
differences?
interesting for her. Very interesting, because she had no idea that there was such things like this.
Yeah.
And the point being that was, from the outside point of view, that was one print published by one company over a period of 25 years. There it is. That's a print that was published.
Yeah.
And yet, clearly, here was evidence right in front of her that these were different block sets. There's 4 hairs here, 5 hairs here, that, you know.
Yeah.
So this was an eye-opener for her. And I'm making the leap to say that the Great Wave was also done this way. And she's not really willing to make that leap, because she looks at the Great Wave as something being more special than this casual reproduction here. And for me, they are exactly the same thing, made in exactly the same way in the same environments. So it's okay. We're just throwing the ideas out back and forth.
Yeah.
But she's definitely now a little more open to the ideas that I've mentioned, having seen some physical prints here.
Right.
And, it's a very pleasant lady. We were actually able to help her a little bit too. And as I said, her specific interest was in the molecular analysis of these pigments and stuff, something I myself have absolutely no knowledge of at all. I've never been interested in this. But one thing she mentioned was, she said, "Mo, there's very little published in English." And then she said, and there is some Japanese research published, but it's not indexed or it's not out there, and we have no way to find it. So she said there could be lots of stuff out there that would be of interest to her, but she doesn't know where it is.
Right.
And I happen to just remember one thing, that the Chiba Municipal Museum of Art, about, I don't know, 10 plus years ago, they had a Harunobu exhibition of Harunobu originals, which they have a bunch of. And as part of that, they had people, and it was Katsura-san, the carver guy who does carving and printing. They had him do some analysis of this, like under X-rays or crystallographic or whatever. I don't know. You know.
Okay.
And they took some scrapings of these prints and did analysis, and they published scientific analysis in the back as an appendix to the exhibition catalog. Like there was nowhere else to do it, so they just maybe had to fill out the book.
We'll throw it in the end.
So, and I knew about this. She's saying like, what? So we go to Amazon and there's the ISBN for it. I'm like, okay. So it just in a very small way, we might have helped her get more information for her researches. You know.
And I know some museum books are published bilingually. Is this one only in Japanese, or is it bilingual?
I've got it at home at Ome. The exhibition catalog part of it, explaining the prints and the titles, the essays are translated into English. The research appendix at the end, I don't remember, because it was out of my sphere.
Yeah.
I just know it was there.
Cool.
And it's in Ome, but anyway, she can buy it. So it's great. But I was a bit surprised, like the British Museum, one of the world's most prestigious, most whatever, top, you name it, didn't have access to this stuff. I guess that's it. If you don't speak the language, then that's it.
It's blocked.
So
Inaccessible.
So it's cool. We were able to just whatever. So, and it wasn't just that. 2 or 3 things that Doi-san and I knew about or remembered.
Yeah.
And then Doi-san, he got interested in this. He said, okay, he's going to run home and start Googling in Japanese for anything he can find on these, Edo analysis of Edo era pigments and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Because she can't Google up in Japanese.
Right.
I'm curious. I would have assumed that an institution that what's the word? Prestigious is that a word? Or that just a large, world-class, globally influential institution wouldn't have had a way around that. So there it is.
Some Japanese colleagues or something.
I mean, this is about printmaking. When you think about like cancer research and stuff, are all these people, the Japanese and the French and the Germans, are they all
research
working
independently?
Yeah, it seems crazy, So.
Yeah. Going here. Wandering a little bit
It's up
off
to you.
the
Okay,
corner.
you fix it, whatever. Yeah, sure, as you wish. Try and keep in the middle here, but whatever.
looking at those images when you showed the 5, it was like those old tell the difference between these two scenes puzzles from childhood, or on the copy machine
find the
at
difference.
Lawson.
Yeah.
Find the difference.
We should do a video about it, I guess. Whatever this is, 6 million things to do for next video.
Videos of that.
Hmm?
The computer's working hard.
I think come summer we may have a problem here. Yeah. I'll have to elevate it for sure. Also, upstairs in the sizing, the computer now sits on a hot carpet. Well, we won't be using that in the summer. So.
Yeah, that's true. Aeromass says it does get problematic with medical research too. Lots of times it is difficult to find primary research that is translated in the language to another. Kanji Cat, just joined the stream. Can the writing on the block be translated? You said you do have a translation somewhere.
I know it's out there. I know it's translated into modern Japanese. I think there's if you go to
Wikipedia has a
Wikipedia
translation.
page. Yeah, so. I think what do you search for? The rape of the fisherman's wife or something. I know that's the name of the Wikipedia page. I can't remember. And it's the translation is just it's a farce. Whatever. I mean, well, no, the text is a farce. It's just, whatever. We don't need to go there, but literature. This is not.
Yeah.
Kanjigat, you know her. She's a subscriber.
Right. Yes.
Did you know who this is? Yeah.
The dream of the fisherman's wife.
Ah, sorry. Is that what did I say? Whatever. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I mean, none of that is relevant to the original. So. So we closed off our books for February, right? Well, we will be closing them today.
Yeah, once I see which orders came in before midnight.
And then the exchange rate thing. And it's been a good month.
Yeah.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Very good for
Absolutely
February.
Incredible. The biggest January, February we've ever had, We are already well past, I think about 10 days ago, we were past 1/5 of last year's sales by the second week of February. Where are we going to get prints, Cameron said? I don't know. I don't have any idea. We're going to be out of heroes. We're going to be out of everything. But come the middle of April, this shop's going to be just empty. Kubota-san's off. If only Kubota-san would come back right now, and I can give him the heroes one after the other to restock before April. Or ask God to intervene and stop the cherry blossoms this year.
Stop the cherry blossom. I think the people anticipating the cherry blossoms probably already have their tickets anyway, so they're coming flowers or not. It's time for Cameron to start printing. Ha ha. I can do Command P. How many copies did you say you need?
Then should I get back to it? Should I stop everything else and get back to a printing bench? Yeah, I don't know. We're laughing, but it's no joke. No. It's not going to be a joke. Nothing on auctions last night.
Nothing good?
No, nothing good. And actually, it's funny, speaking about those 5 prints we showed on the show and tell. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
That set, in fact, the orange package on the table there, it's the same set of 24 came in.
So now you have a 6th version?
I haven't side by side them yet, but this one looks like about the earliest that I've ever seen of this set. This is a really early one, and they're a little bit toned and faded, but there's no foxing. So I want to keep it, but
But I want to keep it. But what were we saying about having no shop? No prints in the shop?
I know. And the guy selling it screwed up. He described it as 15 prints because there's 15 packages in the folio, but each one has 2 prints. He didn't even take the trouble to open it up.
Oh no! So everyone thought they were bidding on 15 prints, but
Yes,
really they were bidding on 30.
Well, no, me and the other people, we know this set, so we know it. But the guy said 15, so, do you believe the seller or do you think that the seller's made a mistake? If it turns out there's only 15, you can't claim.
Yep. That's what he wrote.
Yeah. It was 2. It was that one and then the Fuji, 36 views of Fuji. And he put 23 packages, which is what it is because there's 2 in each. It's 46 prints on the set. So.
They say it's 36, but really it's 46.
Yeah.
Kind of like the 53 stations is what? 55.
Yeah, 55. Yeah. 55 prints. It is 53 stations.
Yeah, and then the beginning and the end.
But yeah, the series, all the prints are labeled Fuji Sanju Rokke, and there's 46 of them in the set.
He initially made 36 and then, this is doing so well, I'll just make another 10.
Well, it wasn't anything Hokusai, of course, it was the
Right,
publisher.
it's the publisher.
I guess, again, people like the British Museum people, they've researched this or whatever letters or texts or whatever are available from the old days. All I guess is that it was originally planned to be 36 and started selling really well, so let's just make some
Just
more.
keep going.
I guess.
Can't change the name of the series halfway through.
It's like the other one, Hiroshige, 100 Edo Meisho Hyakke. 100 views, 100 famous views of Edo, and there's 112. If it's selling well, just keep going,
just keep going.
Whatever.
That's what we should do with the Japan journey. It's actually going to be a 15 print set.
Don't let people stop you. Contract.
No.
To do, I don't think we don't need to do it that way.
Yeah. People yesterday were mentioning the light reflecting on the Noren over there. It's kind of flickering on the video. I think just different refresh rates probably between all the different devices. And
So we've got LEDs mixed with, I don't know.
It doesn't look like it's flickering on that screen, but on here you can see it flashing.
What's that? Don't turn the computer, girl. Camera. What are we at?
Right here it's flickering. But it's not anything major, just someone mentioned it yesterday.
Just for experiment, if I turn this off just for a moment.
It's gone.
It's gone, but that's
But everything's dark.
My desktop,
Yeah.
that's my desktop. But yeah, the point, we can even easily. It's that one right there.
Yeah.
Get rid of that one right there.
Could reorient it. That's okay. It's not a major distraction.
And it's from that camera. Right, nothing to do with this camera. Whatever. Now I've got spots in my eyes. I looked at the LED with
That's going to make cooking easy.
contemplating how slow I am. What's that?
No, it wasn't a major distraction until you pointed it out. Sorry, guys. Just put my hand to block.
When the guy came to do the documentary movie, he was all over that stuff. We had different mix of lights and temperature and color balance. He got some flickering in his viewfinder.
Right.
Like, Toru-san, it's just in your viewfinder. It's okay in the final. He says, no, if I can see in the viewfinder. No. He was getting more patterns in his viewfinder.
Oh, wow.
And it didn't matter because the viewfinder is just such a small scale screen.
Yeah.
He wasn't really all that knowledgeable about his gear. Also, it reminds me of something. Yesterday, they were customers from, they came KLM, and it's still there. It's still on your plane.
Still on KLM.
I said, no, I mean a couple months ago, he said, we came yesterday.
Wow.
So it's the gift that is still giving.
Gee. Is becoming a printer not lucrative for people? Is there no interest in it? Someone asks.
Well, it's a moving target. If you had asked me that question 10 years ago, of course, there was no money in it here. They weren't taking apprentices. There was no job. There was no nothing. It was a dying, dead business here in Japan, even about 10 years ago. Now, the shoe's on the other foot. We are all desperate for printers.
Yeah.
All of us. But for a number of years, there was no apprentices started, so the whole industry's hollowed out now. Yeah. And the reason there's huge demand for printers, it's two things. It's the increase in inbound tourism to Japan, because many tourists do want woodblock prints. So all the printers and publishers here are having a field day. And the second part of it is, of course, the work we did in revitalizing the craft with using modern imagery, which other publishers have jumped on this bandwagon. And that creates a whole ton of work for everybody, for printers and carvers. So it's the two things combined. So we ourselves can't take all the credit for this, because it's obviously inbound tourism is having a huge
effect.
Susan, yeah, that's the door. That's
Must be.
the
Yeah,
door
that's the sliding door over in the corner. Either that or thunder.
No, sort of, I can hear it now. During the day we don't notice it because there's so much external noise, but in the evening and in the morning.
Yeah.
So when Tsuki-san and Rei-chan are coming down, I know when they're coming.
Yeah.
So she tried to sneak in. I didn't hear her go up this way.
Right.
I can hear Kawai-san. He goes, bang, 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 bang.
Suga-san's doing some, or just finished the test printing, is that right? Or is she doing another run?
No, I know. We're going to go with it. I know. It turns out that, I don't know if Jed's listening today.
I haven't seen him in the chat, but so he could be here.
Don't panic about what I say here, but the print, the number 4 print, the one we saw me carve, I think it's still there.
April, yeah. 2019 series.
Yeah, Papa, that print, that's the Photoshop version, and we carved the color blocks pretty much exactly as Jed laid them out, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And they do not layer up anywhere near the same way. And the block here that is for the right-hand side of the shrine roof, the sort of orangey color, that is also giving the flourishes in the cherry blossoms on the left, and it's also giving tone to the tree trunk. It doesn't balance like that. When you print it dark enough to give a tone to the tree trunk like we see here on the left, the shrine roof is way too dense and dark. And we knew that it was going to be a little bit different, but it's dramatically different. So in order to make the shrine not so funny, because that's right underneath the light.
Yeah, so it should be bright. Yeah.
So to keep that bright, the tree trunks are almost invisible. And if this was 1930 and we were building a Shin Hunger print at this point, we would say, okay, good, I can see we need one more block for the tree trunks, carve it on a separate block for the tree trunks, deepen them up without affecting the shrine roof. We don't have that flexibility here.
Yeah.
So this is, Jed's sitting here thinking, oh my God, no, oh my God, no. So she's giving me a nice test print that looks like a nice print, but it doesn't match exactly what you see here. Yeah. Some parts of it come closer than others. And we've learned over time with doing this that the gray always gives us trouble this way. Because gray over light and gray over other colors behaves very, very, very differently. And to get it to show a shadow over a deep blue and a shadow on a face, we can't use the same gray block to do that. But it's the same thing with this orangey tone here. It behaves very differently on white paper than it does when you're overlapping some other color. So she was saying, Dave, what do I do? What do I do? And I had to make an executive decision. Okay, we carve another block, and we asked the printers to do more. We pay the carvers more. This is a subscription print at $45.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it. So I'm sorry to admit this. You know, the print is going to be not as beautiful as it could be because of financial reasons. Am I going to get shot for this? I don't know. That's life. You know, that's life. Yeah. Hide it. Hide it. Click it away.
Goodbye. Sayonara.
So I gave her the go-ahead. I signed off on it, and she's not passing the blocks to Ishikawa-san for her turn. And Sugu-san is getting busy today on the beauty of mystique of the Japanese.
Oh, okay. Which number is she doing now?
15.
Ah, cool. I know that's one of the toughest ones, or the toughest. I'm not sure, but it's cool.
When I went back to Ome on Tuesday, one of the reasons for going back was to try and find the original for that, because she really wanted me to get the original to help her, blah, blah, blah. I brought it back, I found it. I hadn't really remembered what I'd done all those years ago, but I did find the original and brought it back. Although as I found it in Ome, I saw Sugu-san is not going to like this. And what it was a Taisho era reproduction of the Chikanobu print, and it's nowhere near as good as mine. I took that as a rough start and said, okay, let's do this properly, looking back at images of the original Oba. And instead of reducing the number of hairs, because it was smaller.
You just made them small.
Yeah. And the gradation and everything else. So she was hoping to get some help from this, how we could simplify this. I had bad news for her. Like, no, you have to make the reproduction from Oban print in its glorious detail at B5 size. And she just put her head in her hands. I just took it away right away. So thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
It's okay. You challenge him. Push her. Push her. That's the only way she's going to get better.
And she does keep getting better.
She is. She's getting better. She complains fiercely and she cries fiercely and she just has she hangs her head, but she is getting better. Dei-chan's getting better too. You know, the last group of yokai prints she made are better than the first group we published. You know, don't say that, Dave. She's really getting better.
That's great.
Yeah, very, very happy about that. And she also will never admit it.
No, I heard her. This is the time when she said, "Yes, I think you can sell these ones." Is
that all? Really? She admitted it? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's
like
the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of the end. Oh, she's not Japanese, so it's okay.
Oh yeah. Finally, instead of they're all trash, just throw them away.
Yeah. These girls, you know. Oh my God.
Iron Octothorpe asks, how many consecutive hours can you carve before you go crazy?
I don't go crazy. I'm having fun. I don't care. I can do this all day long. I did. Before we opened the Saksa, this was my job. I'd sit carving and printing, you know. This is fun. If you don't like it, then you're in the wrong place, you know. What?
Someone said days. You can just do it for days.
Yeah, I don't care. Nothing at all. I'm also relaxed. There's no physical stress here. I'm sitting here peacefully relaxed. I'm not hunched and stressed and whatever. But there's no stress in my hands and arms and whatever. We're carving fractions of a millimeter. There's no. This is not like hard work.
Physical labor.
No,
yeah.
Nothing. You know. So I could do this forever. And guys did. You know, the craftsmen back. We've seen those books, the Edo era books. Those craftsmen just sat there, and I didn't even know 12 hours a day or something. I don't know. You know, there was no, modern labor standards. It was just as long as there was light in the room, I guess.
Someone said, I can have fun, but eventually get antsy. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if you're having fun.
Japanese vagabond says, I can't get halfway through a lino cut before I ask myself, why am I doing this?
Well, then you're in the wrong place. Sorry, goodbye. Yeah. I can't. Kids these days, is that what you want me to start saying? I don't know. Good question. Is it training? Is it DNA? Is it whatever? If somebody who just said he can't do something for an extended period of time, the first easy reaction for me is you've been trained by your smartphone. You know, are you a smartphone kid that you've been trained to have a short attention span? That's the quick and easy reply to that. I don't know if it's true. You know.
Yeah.
I grew up in an era where, you know, that wasn't the case. I mean, I'm in the early 1950s. TV didn't exist, you know, so it was books or nothing. So you set your own pace, you set your own schedule, you set your own time. You know? But I don't know. I'm sorry, or it's just my DNA. I really don't know. I can't answer it. But no, I don't have a problem when things take time, obviously. You know.
I mostly use my smartphone to study. How many of you are watching this on your smartphone? No.
Study what? What do you mean?
Study on your phone. I'm curious.
You mean internet access, do you mean?
Yeah.
Or what? I don't know.
Did they have the movie on your flight to or from Canada?
No, Air Canada doesn't have that. No. And again, I don't know. What are they a group of? I don't know. Air Canada plus, I think ANA and Air Canada group. And the Japanese carriers, our experience, seem to be avoiding this.
Yeah.
Whether it's copyright rules or Nintendo fear, whatever, I don't know. Or just simply that's the way the dice rolled. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I did see it because I sent you that link. It was, did we talk about that link? Tubi.
Yes.
T-U-B-I?
I saw that you sent a message to the director, but I haven't heard a response.
No, and I didn't either. So
okay.
let's talk about it. I know, do we have access to that link? I know.
In my email somewhere.
But if you go, if you go
back.
back to my email for a second. Hang on a second, big one here. It's interesting. Go back to my email. And into Team.
Okay.
And I think it will be after I was in Canada, about February the 13th or 14th. Scroll back up. And I think the email title shows it, right? Video alert or something.
There it is.
There you go. Just copy paste this. Let's throw it into the chat. You could have right clicked, but whatever. Okay. What this is TUBI, tubi.tv, and I know Europeans don't get excited about this because it doesn't, our experience is it doesn't work in Europe.
And it doesn't work in Japan.
So this may be just for US, and it may have been time sensitive. This is now March. Oh no, it's still February in the US, whatever.
For a couple hours.
Whatever. Here's a link that played, in my experience, I was in Canada, and a month ago in Canada, a few weeks ago, this link played the whole documentary with a pre-roll ad and 3 or 4 ads every like 10 minutes or so, an ad popped up.
So it seems like a legitimate distribution of it, not
an ad-supported play of the documentary.
Yeah.
But as I said, I sent it to my brother in Germany, said, boop, can't do it. I sent it to Cameron in Japan, boop, can't do it. So for what it's worth, that seems to be an ad-sponsored version of the documentary.
Yeah.
And I saw it in my mother's room there with her for the first time since I saw it in the film festival. So, and I was thinking, how can I wangle, but I couldn't figure out how to get it to download. I mean, these streaming services, they're not stupid. They've got themselves locked. That you're
no right-click download link.
No, of course not. Maybe screen cap or something. I don't know. I didn't fool around with it, but yeah.
Not available in Europe. No Europe. Ooh, where's here?
I told you. So. You know.
Where is here, Aeromass? Don't tell me your address on public place, but I mean,
that's really helpful, you know. So, well, I think he was saying Florida or something.
Okay.
Texas was that?
Not sure.
There was a couple of things I was supposed to talk about on stream, you know, announcing something, right? I've forgotten. It was building up, but I've forgotten what they were.
We have some videos coming up.
Yeah,
but not tonight, but they're coming together. There's USA, Georgia. That's right. Remember them talking about Atlanta.
Well, Toto didn't reply to me, so I don't know, whatever, Facebook it or something. Once we've confirmed that it is playing over there in America, trying to figure out where, ask Jed to check it or something, or whatever.
Well, it seems US is working, and Canada works for you, so
Yeah, so
maybe it's just US and Canada.
Posted. I mean, it's a legit thing. This is not, doesn't seem to be, pirated. This is a legit site.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're hurting Toto Sound by publicizing it. I know he wants people to buy it.
Yeah.
But presumably this is ad sponsored, so there's revenue presumably coming from the ads. Maybe the distributor is taking all the revenue and not giving him any. I don't know. Is that my problem? I don't know. From my point of view, I would just like as many people to see that thing as possible. On their way to Japan is the best time. But
Yes.
that reminds me too. I forwarded you. There's a woman from somewhere in America who's been setting up a print party in June or something. It's all set up. It's basically, I think it's an all-day booking or all afternoon.
Okay.
A bunch of teenagers, 17 college students or something.
Wow.
And it's back and forth. And her email this morning said, "I need to pay for this right now."
Oh, okay.
So I sent it to you, so you can look at it.
Send her an invoice. Okay.
And the email that I sent you, if you look back down the bottom of the email, is a thread right from the beginning. So you can see what the actual
What the total will be.
Yeah.
Okay.
And make sure it gets written on the calendar here.
Okay.
It's prepaid. So that the staff that day knows what to do. Oh, Kawai-san, sashiburi. Koizumi-san, it was his last night. Left.
Yeah.
And he tried to do all the friendly stuff. Dave talked about, I just didn't want to talk to him. After a year's training, leaving a couple of weeks before the busiest season, I was not so interested in being friendly to him. So whatever.
Tough timing. Dry point aqua tint is more of my jam, I guess. Dipping metal plates in acid makes you feel cool. I've never used I don't know anything about dry point aqua tint. Do you know anything about that?
Only by name. I'm totally outside of my field. I've never done any work in etchings or anything like that at all. So I have a layman's rough knowledge of it, but nothing I can talk about. Just never been interested. I mean, that's something that artists do, of course, if you're interested in the artistic stuff.
Yeah. Good morning, Kawai-san. Oh, he went away.
He's dumping his bags. He's dumping his bags upstairs. So we're getting close to time. Are we 9:20 or something? Is that right?
Exactly 9:20.
Well, yeah. No great prediction there. Kawai-san just showed up. So, So for the stream then, let's see, we're going to be, the stream is going to be pretty predictable now for the next little while. As you can see, the pace I'm working on of this stuff.
Calligraphy today and tomorrow.
Well, there's going to be some sizing streams also mixed in, because I've got to get some...
More printing done.
I've gotten a little bit ahead of them, but certainly within the week there will be another sizing stream.
Okay.
And my frustration is that lots of the jobs I need to do right now, more important than this calligraphy, are like Photoshop work. I'm going to get a new poster ready for the front of the shop, the sign, the hours poster. We haven't done that. I've got to get that staff brochure worked out. And I don't know, I can't sit here and do Illustrator work on the stream. But those jobs are desperately waiting for me to do. So, so I guess I'll just reserve this for carving every day. Spend the 90 minutes doing this. It's not going to hurt. I can't blame my lack of productivity on doing this.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Yeah. So we'll just keep it up. The streams for the near future will be this carving. They might be interspersed with carving on the two boys.
Yeah. If we can find the right size adapter for the camera. Can can we not afford full-time because we'd have to pay benefits or something? Someone asked. It's most of the staff has asked to be only a few days a week.
Yeah, so this is
we've asked them,
yes,
can you come more days, more days? And
I would
no.
start tomorrow full-time. Shiba-san, if she would do it, I would start Teiko-san full-time. I wasn't willing to offer that to Koizumi-san.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't.
Good morning.
Hi, son. Come and say hello. I would offer to this guy. If
Yeah.
he's,
Hello.
Yeah.
So, hay fever season.
Yeah.
You youngsters, man.
RGC.
It's really bad this year. The predictions are 4 times the pollen level from Tokyo from last year.
Oh my gosh.
Some areas are more, but Tokyo's 4 point something.
Holy cow.
And I saw it on the way in from the airport.
The
No, as the plane was coming down, all the forests out there in Chiba, they were brown. And this brown is not, the cedar trees have gone dyed and brown. They are all, it's brown,
Pollen.
puffed up with this pollen stuff,
Yeah.
puffed up. They're normally sort of a dark green. And all I could see was brown as far as the eye could see.
Wow.
And when I was younger, when I first came here like 30 years ago,
Yeah.
for me that was, oh my God, the next 6 weeks are going to be hell for me.
Yeah.
Just snot running 24 hours a day. I've moved to the part of life where I'm
Not as sensitive to it.
my immune system has weakened to the point where it's not sensitive anymore. So you don't see old folk, you don't see grandmas and granddads running around with handkerchiefs.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's just the way it is. I have now graduated to that stage of life. No more hay fever
Yeah.
because my immune system is dying. So, whatever. There's got to be some benefit to getting old. One tiny little benefit to getting old. Yeah. You don't get hay fever anymore.
Yeah.
I had it bad when I was a kid, Sonny.
The good old days.
Yeah, I had hay fever on the way to school, both ways uphill. Or how does it work? I
Yeah, I
forget.
think
I can't remember.
So, in Canada, though, did you have it? Or
Yeah, well, very, very bad.
Oh, okay.
Very, very bad. Every summer, Canadian prairies, it's
Yeah.
the real thing. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, hay fever. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. That was it.
Yeah.
And here in Japan, it was the pollen thing. And we lived in Hamura, Ome, out the west side of Tokyo. And that's where you could see the
planted all
clouds.
the
You could see the freaking clouds coming in. You're outside. The balcony rail, this aluminum veranda rail, would be covered with yellow dust every morning. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. But no, I guess I can feel a little bit of it. I'm not totally dead yet.
So it's not devastating.
Maybe next week I might. Now that I've said this, your body picks up some sensitivity because we've talked about it. And the way it used to work for me was that it'd be nothing, and then something would happen. I'd pick up do the house cleaning or something, and something dusty would come. And that wasn't so much pollen, it was just something dust irritates you, and then you've been irritated, and now bang, that's it.
Everything
And that
is
minute, a few minutes
irritated,
later, the hay fever starts. So I'd sort of try to step, it's like walking on thin ice. You do until one little crack comes, and then bang, you go through it, and you're under there. So something about that. And every year we do the same thing. Can I hold on? Can I hold on? Can I hold on? Until something would happen like that. But now it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't this time.
Mother, she says, my car has turned yellow from the pine pollen. I think
What part of the
also
world?
in the US,
You
I
know,
think.
really?
But Aeromass says the same, and that's the person who's in Georgia. So
Yeah, there's two things here. I know part of it in winter we get this yellow grit on top of cars, on top of the balcony. That's sand from China. It's the whatever Gobi Desert, Mongolia, whatever, blowing up these winter winds and they blow the yellow dust. This is different. This is actually local, and you can see it. It's pollen thick enough to see as a film.
yeah, and this is the one that's. What was it? All the forests were replanted after the war, hoping to sell it as lumber, but
Well, it was necessary. So. They're cutting them down at the moment. There's a municipal project to just slash and burn.
Yeah.
So there's burning. Cameron, we better get to work here.
Okay.
My sun is off. I know I've done whatever it is, 1, 2, 3, 4 characters. There's 5,000 still to go. I don't know. It will get going. I'm a bit slow at this. I've fooled around a bit too much today, and I'm being a bit careful. And also, too, I don't have the copy in front of me, which I do need to be able to move forward a bit more confident. So relax. It won't be this much of a disaster.
okay. We will see you all next time.
Same time tomorrow. Back right here. It's good. Thanks for watching, gang.